The Royal Hotel 2023. I saw this the other day. I wasn't really sure if I was going to expect a lot out of it. It's a thriller. From the synopsis, it sounded terrifying. When I started watching, I thought, oh, what have I let myself in for? But I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a brilliant film. It stars two young women, Hannah, played by Julia Garner, and Liv, played by Jessica Henwick. And they're two Canadian backpackers who have arrived in Australia. The first scene is in Sydney. You can see the Opera House, that standard view you see, the establishment shot you get of Sydney since 1973. And they're at a bar and it's a bit wild. They meet a Norwegian, I think it's Hannah, who spends some time with Torsten. Then you see them planning their trip into the outback. They're doing a working holiday. It's a sort of short notice thing, so the only place they can get is a very remote location, extremely remote. Desert areas, the Australian bush. I've mentioned about deserts before, that I find them mildly terrifying. It depends on circumstances, but the fact that you're stuck miles from anywhere is a very difficult proposition. This is a mining community, it's very male dominated, so there's going to be a lot of testosterone. They catch a train, they catch a bus, and they get to this very empty location. There's this bar, this pub, this hotel. It's called the Royal Hotel. There's nothing else, but there's lots and lots of men, and they already make comments when the two women get off their bus. Just think, oh my gosh, I would not want to be in that environment. Carol, who's a First Nation Australian, she shows them into the hotel and then locks the door, and they panic. Why they've been locked in? And Carol explains that it is best to be locked, and it is because of the nature of these men. They are feral, they're just wild. When a place is dominated by men, it is not a great scenario for the few women who are there. It's not a situation I'd want to be in under any circumstances. And it reminds me a lot of Man or Bear, this internet social media meme that's been at large during the last few months, at large on social media. Probably not surprised to find that I, like almost all women, would side with a bear if I was walking through a woods. That makes complete sense, because if you ever see clips from bear experts, you stand a chance, because even if you can show that you're not threatening, there's a chance you actually survive. So Liv and Hannah, they get introduced to the bar, about all the types of drink. They get to know the main customers and what they drink, and some of them have a free drink on first off. They've got all these customs, and they also meet two English women. They're just out of it. It's apparently their last night, and they go wild on the bar. They climb on the bar top and take off their bra and take off their top and expose themselves, and this drives the men wild. And it, oh blimey, it's just, there's a lot of one-liners said by the men, and there's a sort of dark, wicked sense of humour. I suppose as I saw the film progressing, I started settling in, although I was still worried by how it would finish. Amongst the notable men who star in the film, there's Hugo Weaving, who plays Billy. He tends to get pretty drunk. There's a whole problem with bills not being settled, payments not being made. So there's an abuse, there's a power dynamic that goes on, an abuse of power by the top dogs, people like Billy. There's a character called Teeth, played by James Fresherville, and Dolly, played by Daniel Henshaw, Matty, Toby Wallace. They're some of the main male characters in the film. Liv's more adventurous. She's more willing to play along with the men. And as far as Hannah's concerned, Liv is actually getting them into more bother right from the get-go when they set off for this mining community. Hannah's not exactly happy with the situation. But that's the kind of situation that often arises between people on holiday or doing a project together. One is more adventurous than another. I've been on holiday with a friend. I went to California, and the friend I was with, now ex-friend, wanted to go to Mexico. And from all the advice that people gave about don't go to Tijuana, I listened, and we had quite a falling out. I'm glad I didn't go, because I think we could have got into a whole lot of bother unless we'd really researched what to do and did it properly. And I don't even think now, with the ESTA rules, whether we're allowed to cross the US border to Mexico. I'm digressing, but these kind of situations that you can get to where one friend wants to do one thing and another wants to do another, I think the cautionary approach is always the best. So anyway, things escalate and it gets a bit scary, but I loved how it progressed towards the end. It was full on, and I really admired the director, Kitty Green. Wonderful. So impressed by the film. At the end, wow, what a film. But it was tough going in the middle. You just see this overwhelming testosterone and toxic masculinization. It was so much. I would not put myself in that situation. I could very much see where Hannah was coming from. I liked both Hannah and Liv, but Hannah I could understand a lot better, sympathise, empathise with a lot more. So I'm going to score this 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I'd really like to know what you think of it. If you've seen it, please leave your comments. Please like if you like this review. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.